Yes! There we go. Ah! We got it. Finally. Disaster has been averted. The world has not ended, and we are okay. Hooray! And my hotkeys are working? Okay. My important hotkeys are working. That way I can accidentally toggle them while I play my game. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what the heck is going on with that. I don't know why my audio is being so messy. But it probably just reset everything when I plugged in a different headset. Who knows? Alright, well, welcome everybody to the stream. It has been a disastrous 5 minutes. 7 minutes? 5 minutes? 7 minutes. So, that's great. We love that. We love a disaster. So, last time we finished the main game. Of course, in this game, in this version of the game, they don't really differentiate the difference between, like, the original game and the expansion content. But we finished Hetemsenret after several hours of gameplay. So we're going to be going on to the expansion missions, or what was the expansion missions. And I've mentioned this before, but the expansion missions are kind of broken compared to the original game. I'm still going to play through A New Era, and maybe, depending on how things go, I may decide to just go back and play the original. Because in that one, the triggers aren't broken. Things that rely on the old combat system work. And all that fun stuff. But we're gonna see what this is like. We're going to Broken How. So a lot of the missions in the expansion have a timer on them. From my understanding, the timers do not work. You have all the time in the world to do your missions when I think some of them had like 20-minute timer or 20-year timers or whatever the timers were. And then also some of the military heavy missions that, you know, leaned heavily onto the combat system for the original Pharaoh. That combat system no longer exists in this version of Pharaoh. And therefore, some of those missions are stupid easy to do. There's a couple that I was looking through the other day. Let's see. Is it Ramses? Ramses has Kadesh, which has super simple requirements. Ancient Conquerors. You have Migdol, which is also heavily focused on the military, where you're repelling the Assyrians. From my understanding, this mission can be completed in like 10 minutes. Super simple, and it's unfortunate that that's the way that it is. I don't really have any way to justify that. It's just kind of because they got rid of the original combat system. Like, they didn't do anything to make those missions more interesting. They just ported them to the game. But it is what it is. We're going to see what it's like. We're going to see how it goes. And we're just going to go from there. So here we are going to be... I already read this at the end of the last mission. But we're going to go to the Valley of the Kings. And we are going to be getting very used to this map, because I believe that it is used in several other missions. So let's go.
After many brilliant victories on distant battlefields defending the lands and people of Egypt, Pharaoh Thutmose, as all must eventually, has turned his thoughts to preparations for his travel into the afterlife. To ensure that this journey is successful, Pharaoh wishes you to begin construction of his tomb at your earliest convenience. Establish a village on the west bank of the Nile to provide a pool of capable workers. Locate a suitable site for his tomb in the cliffs to the west of the village. You will need skilled stonemasons to cut the tomb's many chambers from the rock, and talented artisans to plaster and paint the rooms. To provide light for the workers laboring in the far recesses of the tomb, you will need to establish lamp maker shops. Supply the lamp maker with pottery and imported oil for the fuel. Plant fields of henna to provide a source of dye for brilliant colors the paint makers will need.
Everything you played in the original, you got screwed because you could place your tombs on several places, but later in the game you didn't place in certain places, you would block yourself off of future tomb positions. Yeah. Yeah, so that's, it's true. I also recall that being the case when I played it as well. But we're going to be introduced to immediately to two new industries that the expansion provided. The paint and the lamp making, which is a tertiary resource. You use pottery and imported oil for that. So that's going to be fun. But here we are, and as I said, we're going to have to get really used to this mission because we're going to be here a lot. So overall, there's plenty of space to build. There's a very obvious jumping off point here for... I'm concerned about this tomb building because of how dirty they did obelisks. I'm very concerned. I hope that it is fine, but I'm going to be very sad if they put in lazy, generic building animations for the tomb. Ikomi buys jewelry, sells oil and linen. Let's see, it looks like we're going to be selling beer. Yes. Beer and maybe pottery as well. And we can sell paint. Okay. Alright, there's plenty of things here. Alright, we have plenty of starting money. So we're just going to immediately cross the river here. There's no reason not to. I don't really think we need... No, we will need workers on this side if we need to establish any kind of reasonable trade. We'll do that. But for the most part, we're just going to be building on this side of the river. And we're going to create, like, I don't know, some weird double-step housing system here. We're going to put houses along here, like this. Yeah. Yeah, this won't backfire at all. Not at all. I didn't even check to see what food we can produce. Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's see, there's henna, chickpeas, flax. It looks like we can start up linen production pretty quickly, so that's probably what we're going to do. Along with paint, which we'll need to build the tomb. So we're going to immediately hop onto the floodplain here. And we're going to get that started. There we go. Let's see, we're going to do... I don't know. 2 flax farms, 2 henna farms, and then probably like 4 chickpea farms. That seems to make sense. Oh, can we get 5? The game seems super quiet now and it's kind of bothering me. I don't know what's... Oh. Alright, well, whatever. I was hoping to irrigate this. We don't have to. It's not the end of the world. go. We can still kind of irrigate. Like this. But it's going to be harder to irrigate this side now. Oh, wow. That'll have to do. That'll have to be good enough. All right, and then we'll put our bazaar. Yeah, our bazaar. Our granary here. Yeah. All right, so we have 3 gods, and our patron god is Ptah. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of squeeze in our temples like this. This is really, really dumb looking. This is really dumb looking, but whatever, it's fine. There we go. Also, up here we have scorpions. That'll be fun. I can't wait for that. All right, let's unpause the game. Get some people in. So we have food, we have water, we have religion, we need entertainment. For now, we're just going to plop a juggler school down, and we're going to go with that. Just like that. That should be a good start. And then we're going to put our industry, like, up here. Like, behind our housing in this area. But yeah, as Tana mentioned, we have this area here where we're going to be building these fancy tomb areas, and they can only go in, like, specific locations, and these rocks prevent the entrance from going into a proper area. So, like, we can only put it, like, here. So, like, this little entrance door in the top corner of the tomb has to be, like, in an open area, and we need enough space. It's really obnoxious. Extremely so. But we can put them basically anywhere along here. And if you set them up in the wrong way, you will be very sad. Because I think we have four of these to do, ultimately. I could be wrong about that. We could put one here, one here, one here, and then, I don't know, one somewhere else. But we'll deal with that later. Okay. So, first things first, we need a firehouse, because I can't count for whatever reason. There we go. And we also need to set up our storage units. So you're going to be flax and linen. And then these two are going to be henna and paint. Let's see, henna and paint. There we go. And our first harvest is already in. Well, I guess it's a good thing that we got some of the chickpeas in. Alright. So that's not really going to be enough to start a whole lot, but it'll at least be a beginning. So we'll put down a couple weavers. We're gonna start with 2. We definitely have enough farms to do more, but that's what we're going to start with. And then we're also going to do 2 paint makers. There we go. And it's the same idea with that. We probably definitely have more than enough to provide for like 3 or 4 workshops, but we're just getting started. All right, so we're going to need pottery. We can deal with that later. Where was linen? Was linen down here? Yes, you buy linen and paint. Oh, it's a water route? Oh. Okay, well, we can make this work. We'll just do it like this. Yeah. I hate it. Here, let's do it like... I want it right there. That way we can put a second... I guess we can't get a second dock in there anyway. Whatever. This is fine. Good enough for me. There we go. Alright, we apparently just didn't have an initial flood, which is unfortunate. But we can set up this tomb so that people can start working on it. I don't really know where the best place to put this is. I think I always put it like here, because it's the smallest tomb. It's right at the edge of the map. We're probably not going to put more down here, so I think this is usually the best spot for it. And for now, as you can see, it's pretty bare bones. But once we get a road out, I don't know if they need a road. They probably do. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and put a roadblock there. All right, so they need stonemasons. Yes. We're not going to be able to get very far yet because we also have to make lamps as well, and they need to be delivered to the burial site so they can actually see to do the stonemasonry, which I always thought was a really cool touch. I thought that was a cool idea. We could put a village palace like here. That'll help with desirability. Is that what we want to do? Yeah, why not? Okay, things are getting a little bit weird here. That's okay. I'm okay with weird. Here, we'll put a water supply right there. There we go. Great. I hate it. It's beautiful. Alright, now we need to actually start selling linen. That way we can actually make some money back. Because we're a little bit broke right now. Just a little bit. But I think we have a good starting area. We have plenty of room to expand. Even if it's a little jank. I think we're doing okay. I think we're doing okay. So we could sell paint too, at least for the time being. Obviously, we're going to need paint to build the monument. But at least to start getting a little bit of extra income, because we need to get lamps before we really do much of anything. So we want to get that started. And I think I am going to drop it to Stonemason's Guild. know, because we need more intersections in the game. Yeah. It's just gonna be enough to get started. Alright, we're short people right now, but I think once the first wave of real food comes in, I think we'll be okay. We can also build some more chickpea farms. Like that. Yeah. Perfect. Excellent. And instead of building more farms this way and having to take more paths out, we can just build some more farms down here. That would be a little bit easier. Although, can we get another farm in here? We can. Alright. What sells more, linen or paint? It's linen, yeah? It's easily linen. Okay. I don't even really know why I felt the need to ask that question. I already knew the answer. There we go. Alright. People are dying of the plague. That's okay. Once we get a little bit of money, I'll build a physician. And then once we get even more money, we'll start working on pottery. That will let us upgrade our buildings, and that'll get us the first resource for the lamps that we need to make. And I always thought that was a really cool part of the expansion. Even though, like, I've dabbled in the expansion, but I don't think I've ever actually completed all of the missions. But yeah, without lamps, it's very dark in here. Yep, they won't even touch it. But I always thought the idea of having, like, a tertiary resource was cool. And obviously that's what you see in a lot of more modern games nowadays. Modern city builders, they'll have, like, your basic resource, your secondary resource, and your tertiary resource, and then your tertiary resource will be worth a whole lot more. I don't know if that's how it works here. How much are lamps? Lamps only sell for 190. That's not really a lot. Chariots sell for a lot more. Of course, chariots are also very expensive. Let's see. I guess it is the most valuable resource other than chariots. Okay. But you also got to keep in mind, the export value of pottery is 100. You have to import oil. You cannot produce oil, as to my knowledge. So you have to import, you have to take that 110 cost. So after that, it becomes less exciting. Because then you're only making, at most, 90. Because you have to eat this cost. Yeah, they're not really worth exporting, are they? You'd be better off just exporting the pottery. Okay. That's good to know for later on. I don't think it's going to be very relevant for this mission. Alright, Pharaoh really wants some pottery, huh? Alright, we should be able to do that. We have to do that anyway, so we might as well. Let's see. Build 3 clay pits there, and 4 potters. And here... Yeah, it's fine. A little bit of debt never hurt. We're gonna have 75% pottery and 25% lamps. Actually, we're gonna do something like that. Yeah, we're gonna do that. hopefully we could get the people in. We're pretty short people right now because a lot of them died from the plague. But the plague should start subsiding here soon. Now that I actually have a physician. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be less of an issue. So these people will come back. They'll move into these upgraded houses, and we should be good to go. At what volume can you sell, though? Sometimes lower volume, high volume can be better than a tiny volume, high value. That's fair. I don't really know what we're looking at here right now as far as the volume of resources we can sell. This city here will buy 1,500 lamps, which, I mean, we can't even sell pottery here. It is what it is. It is what it is. We'll figure it out as the time goes by. I'm a little bit frazzled from all the mess with my volume and audio settings earlier. I'm not used to having problems with my audio. Usually I just kind of sit down and play the game, and I fiddle this setting a little bit, and I fiddle that setting a little bit, and it's good to go. But something funky happened, that's for sure. Alright, I don't actually know if we're going to be able to fulfill this request. We don't have enough people. We actually have quite a bit of a shortage right now. And we're waiting for these people to come in, and they're not coming in very fast. So, probably just... yeah, we're probably just not going to be able to do that request. I probably should have started working on pottery earlier. Maybe it should have been my initial starter resource. But, it wasn't. We didn't do that. So I'm not going to worry about it. Maybe I can turn the volume up in my headset. There we go. I can turn the volume up in my headset. That helps a little bit. There we go. And maybe that was part of the problem I had, because I have a different headset, and this one has its own like audio controls on the headset. It's possible that my audio was cranked down in my headset, so I cranked the volume up everywhere else, and I thought it was fine. That could be the problem. That could have been the problem. Okay. And that actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Do you want to upgrade? Thank you. Do you want to upgrade? Yeah. How about you? We'll probably get to upgrade some of these houses a little bit more later when we have the money to invest in beautification. For now, though, I'm just gonna be happy when we get unemployment again. It's coming. It's very slow, but it's coming. Yeah, we're gonna get our first thing of pottery. I should probably stockpile pottery. Because our one market is going to try to buy all of the pottery up. And we don't want that. Not yet, anyhow. I'm also going to put a second market over here. And I should probably put a booth here, too. Oh. My granary burned down. Oops. guess we need a little bit more infrastructure, don't we? Your old one had an independent volume wheel, so it only would hear the difference. But now this one directly changed the volume in Windows and you hate it? Yeah, I get it. So this was... The headset that I'm wearing right now is technically an older headset, but it's a higher quality headset. The only reason I don't use this one on the regular is because it's wireless, and I don't really like wireless headsets. That's more of a personal preference. And we lost all of our food, by the way, in that fire. So that's unfortunate, but I also have nobody to blame but myself. Yeah, I've never really been one for wireless technology when it comes to gaming. I've had too many issues with random disconnects and having to keep it charged on the charger all the time. I'm really bad at remembering to do that. So, yeah. Man, these floods are killing me. We might run out of food. We might just straight up run out of food before the next harvest. That would be a little bit unfortunate. Alright, so how do our risks look here? For fire? Okay, we look good now. That's good. Collapse risk is good. Crime, that's all good. Disease? No likelihood of disease, huh? Alright. Okay, overlay. I definitely believe you. And that's why I'm building physician right here. There we go. Also, our floods are not being good to us. We are not getting good floods. Alright, let's go ahead. Apparently we're going to have to beg Osiris for good floods. So let's go ahead and start begging Osiris for good floods. Osiris, please. Give me good floods. I would appreciate it. And we're probably also going to have to expand the floodplain farms. Bring this down. Here, let's set this up first. No, we have to set up the road first. I lied. There we go. Alright, and we can set the irrigation ditch here. Alright, well, at least Pharaoh wasn't mad that I was late with my pottery. That's good. We can stop stockpiling it now. As we continue to beg Osiris for good floods. Osiris, please. Please, Osiris, I need your floods. Your floods make the people happy. Oh, that's good. Double harvest is good. Now, I'm not going to be able to afford to do this forever, because I still don't have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money because I'm not getting much off of my floodplains right now because my floods are being poor. So yeah, now we can take this over like this, and then we can put more farms in here. Yeah. I actually really like the way this floodplain is set up because you can actually put a lot of food production in here. That is intentional. As I said, we're going to be here a lot, so it's good that we have that option. Yeah, I'm trying to see all the possible places for one of these tombs, and it really is just here, 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 and I feel like there should be another spot somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Who knows? It's a mystery. We'll figure it out later. If you flatten the terrain... No. No. Nope. And unfortunately, this isn't the original Pharaoh, so I can't rotate the terrain either. No. You sure could. Yeah. It made it look a lot... It made it a lot easier to find stuff, but, no, it's just gonna be a pain. That's dumb. Yeah. I don't disagree. I do not disagree. Alright, well, the next flood will be better than anticipated. Is that the next flood, or is that the next flood? That is the real question. But, good news, we have our food. We can set up a bandstand here. And a conservatory here. I'm a little bit worried that this area here is going to have trouble with fire and collapse. Fire, definitely. I think the only building here that can collapse is this one. Yeah. So let's go ahead and build a firehouse and an architect's post here. That'll help. Alright, we're actually starting to get a lot of good resources. We're starting to get a back stock of raw resources, which we're converting into sellables. I said that weirdly, I don't know why. And we're probably going to be almost to the point of being able to... Next flood, because this one was already not happening. Yeah. And the next flood is likely to be poor. Hooray. Osiris, please. Of course, the only other option we have for food is to import it, but I don't like importing food, so probably not going to do that. Unless we have to, later. Right now, I just can't really afford it, which is unfortunate. It'll be better when we get more raw resources built up, because that means we can actually build. Once our industries get going and get profitable, we'll be good to go. It's just reaching that point. And it's also very possible due to this distance. Let's try to fix that, actually. Let's make a road over here like that. That way the clay pits don't have to send the boys the whole way around this little town. You can make a very large slum area. You're not wrong, but I don't like making big slums. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Because what ends up happening sometimes is you make a very large slum area, and then suddenly you get a massive influx of food, and suddenly that massive slum area becomes an area with a lot of workforce, and you have so much unemployment. Yeah, it's true. But I think this will be good. I think we'll be fine here. And the funny thing is, I don't think we really need... Like, our rating requirements aren't huge. We literally just need to keep the Emperor happy. The Emperor? Oh. The Pharaoh happy. And build the tomb. That's it. Should be super easy. Okay. So, I think we can start importing oil now. Ooh, we can't afford the trade route, though. Well, I guess we're going to continue begging Osiris. Osiris, please. Nothing a few work... I have expressed my distaste for building up 1 billion work camps many times during this playthrough. I understand why it needs to be done sometimes. I've done it a few times. I still don't like it. I don't know. I don't like spamming work camps. It just feels kind of cheesy. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm the weirdo. I just don't like it. Yeah. I get it. I understand. Alright, let's get 600 linen for the Pharaoh. We could probably start exporting pottery. Where do we export pottery to? Here. We don't want to export a lot of pottery, but it is another source of income. We can export it when we're over, let's say, 800 pottery. That way we're not exporting all of our pottery away. Because we'll need it for lamps. That's what we're waiting for right now. So we may need to build more housing up here. We could keep doing this weird stair tier system. I don't really want to do that, though. I want, like, a little bit of a gap, and then we're going to create, like, a larger... Yeah. A larger water source area. For paint, you need pottery first, then henna, but you do not for beer. You don't need pottery for paint. You need pottery for lamps. For paint, you just need the henna. But no, I fully understand what you mean. They could 100% use pottery as like a secondary resource, and then make beer, paint, and lamps as tertiary resources, and just up the value of them. Yeah, I agree. But I think at the time... Oh no, the flood's going to fail again. What are we going to do? We're going to beg Osiris for more victuals, is what we're going to do. But I think at the time, when the game was first released, they wanted to keep it relatively simple because, well, it's based on the Caesar engine, and the Caesar engine was always pretty simple as well. And they didn't want to make it too complicated. Nowadays, they'd absolutely make tertiary resources. They would make them so common. Because that's kind of the way that a lot of these games have gone, right? You make primary resources, your raw resources, you have secondary resources, which are the goods from that, and then you use that to make tertiary resources. And then if you get super complicated, like say in Dyson Sphere program, where you have all these complex mechanisms that need even more third-tier resources, and then it gets complicated. What was that? That was linen. Okay. There we go. Factorio as well? Yeah. Factorio does it too. I just didn't mention Factorio because I haven't played Factorio. I have played Dyson Sphere. Which I probably will play Dyson Sphere program for the channel at some point in the future. I don't know when. Because obviously I already have a lot on my plate. And now, with Thursdays, I have even more on my plate because I have to start finding horror games to play for Thursday nights. That's why we have the spooky logo now. All right. Nice. So we are getting a flood? No, it's the next flood. Okay. We should probably just leave that up, but it's fine. Also, we have way too much unemployment all of a sudden. You know, it's funny. I mentioned how I didn't want to use work camps, but Tana did have a point when she said that a lot of work camps can kind of offset poor fertility, and this seems like a mission that we're going to be getting a lot of poor floods. So we are going to put a few work camps down. Just a few, not a lot. And we'll also put down a firehouse back here. There we go. This isn't to soak up unemployment, though. This is explicitly to try to combat the poor fertility of our farms. I want to be very clear on that. Okay. So once we get some more money in, oh, we need a lot more money. We should be able to start importing our goods. But right now we just really, really need... We need good floods. That's what we need. Yeah, a little bit of debt never hurt no one. Okay, that's going to be a lot of flax when we actually have good floods. But, whatever. It'll be fine. %16 unemployment, huh? I mean, the thing says we're going to get a poor flood, but that looks like a pretty good flood. I'm hoping the game's just lying to me. It probably isn't, but I'm hoping that it is. Next flood will be better than expected. still poor, though. Well, the good news is we should have a fair amount of resources coming in now, despite the poor flood. We should build tax collectors just to squeeze just a little bit more income out of these houses. These houses are too poor to really be worth building tax collectors at. You'd probably pay more in wages than the tax collector would actually bring in. I wonder if I should make a convenient escape route here as well. Probably. That would make sense. I don't know why I keep looking over and trying to see what kind of progress is being done on the tomb, because I haven't done what we need to do for the tomb. I don't know. I'm curious. I want to go over and take a peek. But there's nothing going on there. Nothing going on because they can't see anything. How do our requirements look? I'm going to have to build a personal mansion and send money to get my kingdom rating up. Because I'm going to be completely honest, I do not think that the opinion increase from doing these requests actually works. I could be wrong about that. But I feel like we've gotten a lot of requests done, and we haven't actually improved our kingdom rating any. So we'll take a look at this one. We'll do a test run, shall we? We'll get this paint for this mission. We'll see how much our kingdom rating is. Then we'll complete the mission, and then we'll see how much it goes up. But the good news is we have plenty of flax this time. Plenty of flax, a decent amount of chickpeas. We can put a second granary in, and yeah, we got a nice flood. Turns out begging Osiris for victuals is a good idea. Now we're going to have all these people come in. And we're not going to have any jobs for them because we're broke. We're out of money. But with more people, that also means more weavers. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put we'll start with 4 weavers. I think we're probably going to need more to process all of this flax, but I think for the moment that's what we're going to do. We are at -1,000. So it is important to note that being out of money at the end of the year or at the year anniversary of your debt will reduce your kingdom rating. So we'll have to keep an eye on that before we send our gifts to the Pharaoh. Sawu will buy henna. And they sell oil. And it's much cheaper. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so we did sell some pottery. That's good.
I'll barely make back my coins.
But our debt is kind of problematic. Especially now that with all this unemployment. So we could do more pottery too. We probably should do more pottery. Build a couple more clay pits, like here. And then put potters up here as well. Because here's the thing, and this is something that I struggle with a lot sometimes. When you're in debt, when you're not making a lot of money, but you have a large unemployed population, you might as well put them to work making resources that you can export. Because if you just sit and stare at your city losing money, yeah, you'll probably make the money back eventually just due to the fact that you're not spending money to build stuff. But you're also not producing as much as you could be to sell to make more money faster. So it's usually good to make sure that your people are working somehow.
We're waiting for some cargo to be delivered to our ship.
All right, you're buying linen, huh? That's fair. Where are the dock workers? Is
I
it
have
you?
to go clear across
No.
the city with these goods. It'll take all day.
1,200 henna? We should be able to do that. We just have to stockpile henna. And stop making paint for a while. We can't. You have to get this request done. We have 500 out of 600 paint. Okay. All right, game. Fair enough. Shenanigans. Absolute shenanigans. The game set this up on purpose. They're like, man, they're gonna use all of their henna to do that request, and then they're not going to have any henna for this request. If only we haven't been selling paint, right?
I love the art of the deal. I can't wait to trade my supplies.
Alright, well, we're definitely going to get plenty of henna in. Especially if we build a couple more henna farms. You know, let's just go whole hog, right? Might as well. There we go. So we have plenty of food, plenty of raw resources coming in. And we just have to turn those resources into something we can sell. Alright, we have 10 months. 10 months to complete this. 8 months to complete this. Our next flood is in July. We're going to have a mediocre flood. That's okay. I think we have enough farms to offset that. What's going on here?
I'm not taking these supplies any further until someone's available to unload them.
Oh. All right. We'll do 50-50 on the lamp and pottery, even though we don't have lamps yet. There we go. I forgot that I had set that up that way. That's my bad. Alright, we should be able to do the request for henna, though. that should not be difficult. Look at all that food. That's gonna be so much food. It's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna make my day. And we're gonna have way more food than we need. Let's build another granary. There is an interesting other note that I noticed. So the reason why I found out that a lot of these expansion missions are broken is because I've been browsing the Pharaoh subreddit, and something that they mentioned is that something that I saw somebody mention on there was that there's not really much of a reason to use granaries in the remake of the game because storage yards do the exact same thing. So, in the original game, there was a clear distinction between storage yards and granaries because granaries, market workers couldn't get food out of the storage yards. They had to get it out of the granaries. But that's not the case in the remake. With the exception of imported food, I think. I think there was an exception for imported food. I think market workers could get imported food out of storage yards. Yeah, exactly. But that stipulation doesn't exist in the remake. Market workers can get food out of any storage yard, regardless of the situation. And I don't necessarily know why you would need to do that, because I mean, storage yards take fewer workers, I guess, but workers is never really an issue that you have, and they're the same size. So I mean, it's kind of like just a silly little thing. All right, so our kingdom rating is at 46. Funny thing is, even if you could produce it yourself, as long as it was food you could import, it would work. Yeah, exactly. All right, our kingdom rating is 46. Let's send off this henna. We're going to wait for our kingdom rating improves message, and then we're going to see if our kingdom rating will go up or if our kingdom rating will go down. Let's unpause the game. Now, this paint mission is a little bit of a wild card because we may lose kingdom rating from not completing this paint mission in time. I don't know yet. We will see. So we were at 46. We're still at 46. Okay, that wasn't a kingdom rating increase. That just opened up a new trade route to Abu. They buy pottery. Interesting. Well, I want to open up this land route because I want to buy this cheap oil. So we're waiting to see a kingdom rating improves message. We have so much flax. That's okay though, because that gives us a constant supply of linen, which is very handy. All right. So our paint is done. Nice. So we can produce more paint. It goes quickly, especially if you get bad floods. I have a feeling that we're just going to get bad floods forever. Bad or mediocre floods. I think that is the running theme of this mission. Alright. Well, I don't want to export henna, but I do want to import oil. Oil is a little pricey, so I want to be careful about how much I import. I think for now we're only going to import 400. We're only going to have a couple of lamp makers, so we don't need that much. Alright. The price of straw has risen. Oh no. So scary. But our kingdom rating is still at 46. But it's important to keep in mind that none of those requests, none of those rewards were actually a kingdom rating increase. I still think in the original game you always got kingdom rating increases when you did delivery requests on time. I could be wrong about that. I never really paid it much heed before. But I think what we're going to do...
I'm not taking these supplies any further until
Why are
someone's
you-
available to unload them.
Why are you still having a problem? We have a storage yard here that's not full at all. Oh, it's so not full it doesn't even have workers. Okay. We can probably fix that. If we get rid of this roadblock and we put it here, the walker can come this way and come down and get to these houses. I think that makes a lot of sense. Alright, well, pottery is another resource that'll be very good for exporting because we're getting a lot of trade routes to export it, right? Abu here will also purchase pottery. And these housings just need beautification. Yeah. There we go. Alright, that's back online. We're still waiting for our oil to come in. But we're selling lots of resources. Look at that money we're getting. Okay, there we go. I was waiting for the big injection of money from the linen. The pottery really didn't do much. And there's our oil. Nice. So now we can start building. Where is it? Lamp makers. Unemployment. Is unemployment that bad? Unemployment isn't bad. Now that's going to take our initial set of oil, but that's okay. Because we got so many traders, so many people grabbing the linen, so much linen coming in, so much pottery. What happened with the kingdom rating? Was Pharaoh mad with the late delivery? So our kingdom rating didn't go up or down, but none of the rewards, well, I cleared my notifications. None of the rewards that were mentioned from completing those requests were specifically kingdom rating increase rewards. The one was the paint. They were mad they got the paint late, so they upped the price of straw. Oh no, not the straw. And then the other one was a new trade route to open up. But I think in the original game, you always got kingdom rating increases as long as you did deliver it on time. I can't be sure about that, though. So that's... results are inconclusive, we'll say. Also, we're going to open up this route to Abu because they buy pottery. Maybe later. Yeah, so we're going to have to look for a mission that's... Oh, look at that. Look at that money. Oh, I love linen. Oh, it's so much good money. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, and now we have the lamps resources. Nice. And now that should be delivered to the monument area. I don't know who does that. I don't know if it's a worker or... Oh, there probably has to be 4. Closer to the docks for faster deliveries. Well, I mean, what we could do... Yeah, we could put a storage yard right here. And we could have that get all of the linen. That way they'll just come up here, they'll grab the linen, they'll bring it here, and then they'll sell straight to the dock, basically. That'll work okay. I'm a little bit hesitant to build even more flax farms. I think we're okay with flax farms for the moment. I could be wrong about that. Obviously, if we get a bunch of poor harvests, it's going to be sad, but... yeah. Don't you need stone carvers first to dig the tomb? We have stone carvers, I believe. I have 1 stonemason guild. But I think we need 400 lamps, and then they'll be delivered to the tomb via worker. A work camp worker. No slaves. No slaves involved here. I could be wrong about that. It's been a long, long, long time since I've done any of the expansion stuff. But yeah, they need lamps in order to dig, because as the overseer says, the artisans and masons refuse to step foot in the tomb without the lamps. And we got another blessing from Osiris. Honestly, I don't know why you would ever beg anybody else but Osiris for blessings. Like, Osiris is the best one. Like, he's just the best one, hands down. Where are you gonna get kingdom rating increase from Ra? Oh boy. City sentiment from Bast? Oh, don't give me a heart attack there. Fatah's going to magic zap a bunch of raw goods into your warehouses? I don't know what I would do without that. Strike down our enemies? Not a big deal. We don't have any enemies. Like, build a little builder quarters by the little water patch just so they don't have to walk a long way. Yeah. It's fine. They'll figure it out.
I have to go clear across the city.
Okay, so the lamps are delivered by the storage yard, actually. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Well, that is fair enough. Let's also build a painter's guild, or an artisan's guild. We'll get 2 of those. I really hope they didn't skip out on the animations here. She makes all the festivals so the other guards are always happy and you collect their blessings at the same time. You're right. Bastet is a good cat girl. Yes. But I just feel like Osiris, like begging Osiris for good floods and double food production is just so good. I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about this. I'm really worried that they skipped out on the animations for making this tomb. Alright, so we're just waiting for the boys to come in. Okay. So we now have plenty of lamps up. We're getting artisans. That's good. Oh, I forgot that the artisans guilds need clay too. Well, we should be good with that. We have plenty of clay. Now, we can build more potters, especially because we have more trading partners for pottery specifically. We can definitely afford to get a few more potters going. These guys are going to be eternally unhappy, but that's okay.
I'm going to the monument to shape the stone.
All right, stonemason. I think the stonemason animations were pretty straightforward. I think they were just hitting the rock formations, but we'll see. Ultimately, I guess it's not a big deal if they simplified the animations for it, but I'll be a little bit sad if they did. Because I think that's something that's a very valid criticism about the remake, is that they really skimped out on some of the extra detail. Like, none of that extra detail actually matters as far as gameplay is concerned. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry about that. Also, we don't have any brick production. I don't know how I'm going to be getting bricks to anybody. But yeah, it's like Tana said. They were nice to watch as far as the animations are concerned. Alright, we're going to try to set this up. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to in time. Alright, let's import straw. Oh no. You. Yes. 400 straw? Yeah. But yeah, like, they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. They were just fun to watch. And, it loses some of its charm if you don't have those views. Oh no, straw is more expensive. How much more expensive is it? Let's see. It cost me 24 Pharaoh bucks to import straw instead of the default of, like, 20, I think. Truly, these are the end times. Alright, I think we should... Yeah, we have more stonemasons coming. Yeah, these burial tombs don't require... Nah, they're Pharaoh bucks. They're Pharaoh bucks. That is the official term for them. What is this? Pharaoh wants 700 oil? Alright, game. I'll give him 700 oil. Well, it's not dark right now, because they have 700 lamps. So what Tana is mentioning is that, in the original game, and hopefully in this one too, but I don't know if we'll see that because we have actually a pretty healthy amount of lamps supplied. In the original game, when you ran out of lamps, or if you didn't have any to begin with, the lights in here were dark. It was a dark tomb. We can't really test that out because we have lamps. Okay, so that did look pretty simple. I'm worried. That just looked like the normal stone cutting animation. In the original game, he would actually be like chiseling at the wall. We'll see how the painter goes. The painter is going to be the big deal. What was I doing? Oh, right. I needed 800 oil. Which we have stockpiling. Yeah. Alright. And then 500 bricks, which may happen. I'm going to put a second dock over here. I think that's a good idea. Low desirability because of the granary. Yeah, that makes sense. These guys need entertainment, probably. Okay, we'll sell the oil. Here we go. All right, so it takes 100 lamps for every person that comes in. But fortunately, like I said, we have a pretty good supply of it, so it's probably not going to run out. All right, kingdom rating goes up because of the oil. It was at 45. It's at 47. Okay, game. All right, I'm so glad it went from 45 to 47. It did go up, though. It did go up. So maybe it is fine. So what we could do, I do want to test this theory. We're going to stockpile lamps. We're going to intentionally try to run out of lamps here. And you said Ra was useless. Well, if they're going to make worshipping Ra a requirement, then I guess you're correct. I still feel like Ra is more valuable for trade than kingdom rating, because you could just throw money at the kingdom rating and it'll eventually solve itself. You can't do that with food and floods. And the same thing with Bast. Like, it kind of extrapolates onto that idea. Yeah, Bast can throw festivals to all the gods to make all of the gods happier. But when you have enough money, you can just do that yourself, basically. But you can't throw money at the flood to make it better. You can just throw money at Osiris, who will make the floods better. I don't know. It's not a big deal. All right, I don't think we're going to be able to get the 500 bricks that we need for this. I just don't think it's going to happen. Especially because we're not getting the clay. Do we need more clay pits? Apparently. I mean, we do have a lot of potters. I guess it would make sense that we would need more clay pits. Here, we'll build like 2 more clay pits here. And then I think these have collapse risks and these have fire risks, so we'll build both firehouses and architect's posts there. We're short on employees. They'll come in. If you build it, they will come. All right, we're still having the masons work. Yeah.
I'm going to the monument to shape the stones.
So, like, in the grand scheme of things, I don't know. I may have to reserve my judgment for when I'm finished with the expansion. What my vibes are, and this has been the vibes that I've been getting for the entirety of the game. Mechanically, A New Era is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It is technically a functional remake of the original Pharaoh. But it lacks a lot of the extra charm that Pharaoh, the original Pharaoh, had. That makes it a little bit of a flashpoint with some of the fans of the original game. That's the vibes that I'm getting right now. I didn't have that opinion. My opinion was a lot more favorable until I saw the lazy obelisk animations. And even to a certain extent, the animations from the stoneworker
My
here.
stonework will endure through the ages.
He should be using his chisel on this rock rubble here, not just hitting the ground next to it. And that's just really a simple thing. It's simple things like that that take away from this version of the game. Like, I've had people complain about the graphics. The graphics are fine. Like, they're fine. A lot of the changes that they did are actually really great. I like some of the changes that they've done, especially to, like, luxury goods and things of that nature. It runs a lot smoothly, which is very good. The original had problems with running smoothly at times. How do I want to do this? So I need beer. I think we're going to put it up here. Because we're going to need more entertainment here too, so we might as well put an intersection there. We can put I don't want to go that nuts. We're just going to put this here. We're going to have beer and barley. Because this will help us get a lot more people in. We need to open up a route to import barley. Who sells barley? Do you sell barley? No. Do we have to buy beer directly at the moment? It looks like that's going to be the case. All of those routes are already open. And that's linen oil. Yeah, it looks like we're going to have to buy beer directly, at least for the time being. Now, we may eventually get a route to import beer. In fact, the game was implying that when I checked here. But at least for now, we're going to have to import beer. We have plenty of money to do so. That's not a big deal. I just don't like importing beer. I don't like importing things like the secondary resources. It's not fun. I prefer to produce it for my own. It's just too expensive. Alright, you know what? I understand you're mad about this granary. Have a big fancy statue. There you go. Good job. I'm so glad all it took is a big fancy statue to appease them. Alright, what are we looking at here? 200 lamps. Okay. Still waiting for the lamps to run out. We have plenty of lamps to give. We're gonna hold on to that. I want to test this theory. This is important. This is important for deep Pharaoh lore. Also, it looks like we need more storage yards for henna. And probably flax as well. No, actually, it looks like we're using most of the flax. I mean, I guess that makes sense. We only really have these two paint makers here, and they can't use that much henna. So it makes sense. We also have a whole lot of extra food. It is what it is. It's not a big deal. But what we can do is we can start exporting henna It's not really worth its weight in gold, but it's something, at least. Oops. There we go. Now I have 3 buttons I can push to completely screw up everything. It's great. You hit a button. I sure did. I sure did hit a button. So all of my, like, stream things are, like, hotkeyed to my number pad, which is fine because I never use number pad, but I always use number pad for putting integers into games. Like when I like type in anything into a game, I always use the number pad. So maybe I should actually put those numbers on the main row numbers. Or maybe I should just grow a pair of pants and buy a like a stream deck or something. Something that I can use to put a bunch of hotkeys on specifically for the stream. I've thought about doing that. It may be something I look into, especially as I dig deeper into this hobby. Okay, we still need additional workers. That should help. Alright, we have 100 lamps here. We have one more stonemason. Let's see if the lights go out when we run out of lamps. I hope they do. Warning? What, do we have people robbing the courthouse? Yeah, that's fine. Thutmose in the valley. Cyrus, please. I know I haven't been begging for your help recently, but I need you to make sure my floods are good. I mean, we actually have plenty of stockpiled raw goods, which is nice. But, yeah, we're gonna need more. We're gonna need to keep that up. So one very small point of good thing is that the workers are following the paths inside the tomb instead of just like floating across the landscape. No. No. I hoped... I defended you, Pharaoh and New Era. No. No, my heart. My heart. I can't take it. Ah, the lights don't go out when we don't have any lamps. It does feel so bad.
I capture the stories of Egypt on
Wait.
the walls of the royal tombs.
Maybe there's hope. Maybe they still have, like... some... No? Maybe? Tell me that we don't actually need the lamps after the first set. I'm pretty sure they're delivering some, which is unfortunate.
It'll take all day.
Please don't be bad, Pharaoh. Please don't be bad, Pharaoh. I defended you when nobody else would.
I capture the stories
You
of
can't
Egypt
take this away
on the
from
walls
me.
of the royal tombs.
I swear, if he just, like, puts away his paint bucket and, like, paintbrush and just starts pounding on the wall, I'm going to be very sad. Or worse, pounding on the floor. Ugh. some hope. There is some hope. Not a lot of hope, but there is some hope. I'm hoping that they're not just going to be forever painting right here at the entranceway. But he does have a painting animation. He has it. He has a painting animation. And unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to give up on the lamps. So sad. So sad that this doesn't go dark when they're out of lamps. Again, it's important to keep in mind, it's not the end of the world. Yeah. If you paint at different spots on the wall, you would slowly see the progression. You're right. You're 100% right. I didn't have super high expectations after the whole obelisk incident, because it was a similar thing with the obelisk animations. They used to chisel across the obelisk and you could see like their progression. I just hope he doesn't eternally paint this one spot and then somehow magically paint the whole interior. That would be sad. Yeah, no, I agree, Tana. I 100% agree. And now I just have to sit here and stare at it in sadness. Come on, go inside and paint the wall, please. Oh, he's inside. What are you painting? What? I swear. Come on, game. You can do better than that. It's all ruined. We had lamps, and then we didn't have lamps, and then we had more lamps. I don't know. I lost track of the lamp situation after I realized that it didn't actually change visually. And then it just made me fundamentally sad. Alright, let's put down a pavilion. I'm also going to put papyrus here. I hope so. I do. But I'm not hopeful because of everything else I've seen in this so far with how specifically with how the obelisks were built. Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. We're not waiting on anything else. We're just lamenting our life choices here. I feel like it should be the stonemason smoothing the wall, though, not the painter. What are you painting? Why are you painting the floor? Sad. I'm sad. Like, it's not enough for me to stop playing the game and go back to the original, but it's pretty close. Maybe if the logistics of streaming the original weren't so daunting for me. And I think that's important to mention. As sad as some aspects of this game may be, and lack the heart that the original had, at least it's easier to play on newer computers. At least people can get easier access to it. It runs more smoothly. Fundamentally, it's the same game. But one of the reasons I enjoy playing Pharaoh is to watch the tomb building. So I remember way back in that one episode, that one stream, where somebody came in and was complaining about the monument animations. I didn't disagree with them then necessarily. I just kind of put that on the back burner for everything else. But that's before I saw the obelisk. That's before I saw this. That's before I saw that the lights didn't go out when we were out of lamps. And while I think my opinion is still largely the same, that definitely hurt it. It definitely hurt it. What does our culture look like? We're at 15 culture. We still need a whole bunch of stuff. I don't think we need a Senate house, although we could probably build one. Alright. You could add more guilds to speed. Oh, no, I couldn't. They only send one at a time. The only thing that I could do is put the guilds much closer to the tomb. And we could do that. We could put like a roadblock here. A storage yard. And we could have it get lamps. I don't think we could get clay very easily. But we could get paint. And we could put an artisan's guild or two here. Yeah, because they're only going to send one painter at a time. I have 2 artisans guilds. They're just, they're not going to go that far. And then I guess the easiest way to get clay to it would just be to flood the marketplace with clay. So that we have clay everywhere. Which we're actually doing pretty good with clay. So maybe clay will make its way out there eventually anyway.
I have to go clear across the city with these goods. It'll take all day.
Tomb robbers. Why would we ever have a problem with tomb robbers? I actually completely forgot about that mechanic. Yeah, so that was something else that was added with the expansion, was tomb robbers. I don't think tomb robbers show up in this mission. But I think in future missions it becomes a problem. I could be wrong about that. A city requests clay? Well... Okay. Alright, I guess we'll just stockpile clay and it won't be a problem anymore. We'll have plenty of clay over there by the storage yard. Are you guys gonna move? We don't have this set up to accept clay. Yeah. There we go. It does look like we have plenty of clay. Doesn't even have access to a courthouse. I don't have an easy way to get you courthouse access, bud. I can put another courthouse here and just kind of cross my fingers that one gets down there eventually. That would probably be the easiest bet. Alright, they're almost done smoothing out the walls. That's good. We also need to start importing these burial provisions. Wonder why this police house isn't, there we go. Alright, so does this math work out? 25% clay, 25% paint, 25% lamps. I think it does. Yeah, that should be fine. Wait. Oh, wait. I'm like, where did all my clay go? I shipped it off.
I hope I'm credited for the great condition of this city.
Okay. So these guys should start getting ready to go. Yes. Perfect. Okay, alright. We're getting there. We're doing a good job. Kingdom Standing Climbs. It was at like 47. It's at 48 now. This is a problem. Like, this is legitimately an issue when you cannot get kingdom rating through doing these requests. Like, I don't remember if my kingdom rating was at 47 or 46, 45. We're only getting like 2 or 3 points of kingdom rating for every request that we do. And that is not enough. To get the 65 kingdom rating, it would take us literal years of requests to do that. I mean, it's a good thing we have all of this money. But it's kind of annoying.
Everybody's friendly.
My list of job openings is huge, and I can't find any workers to fill
Okay.
the posts.
I have to go clear across the city with
So
these
we
goods.
should start getting artisans
It'll take all
in.
day.
These guys should be ready to go soon. We should have artists still coming up here. Yes? Yes. Looks like we have one more chamber to build. And now we can start importing our burial provisions. So we need 600 ebony, 1 chariot, 400 gems. Okay, 400 gems, 600 ebony, 1 chariot. There we go. That's going to be pretty expensive, but that's okay. We also need 300 beer, but that shouldn't be that difficult to get. Then we just have to deal with the classic culture wars. Not that culture would ever be a problem in this game. Alright, so they smoothed out the walls. They should start painting it now, right? We
I
may.
capture the stories of Egypt on the walls of the royal tombs.
We may end up having to get rid of these artisans guilds. In fact, let's do that real quick. That way I can guarantee that these guys are the ones doing the thing. Did that get rid of the one artist? It did. I was afraid that was going to happen, but I think that's okay. I think in the long run, this is beneficial for us. The only problem is getting clay up here, and that is still a problem. Alright, well, we can put another clay pit, like, here. And we can put 2 more over here. Yeah, if we just flood the market with clay so that every workshop has ample clay, eventually it'll get up here. It's just going to take a long time. Or some time. In fact, yep. Let's do this the smart way. We'll have a storage yard here with clay, and then this is getting clay. Yeah. So extra clay will be dropped off here, and then it'll be shipped up here. And then we can... Oh, no, I missed it. It's fine. We'll get the next one. We're in debt? That isn't surprising. We have a bunch of luxury goods coming in.
It's the trader's life for me.
But this is a one-time cost. We don't have to import these anymore. Guess what I forgot to do? It's entirely my fault. I shouldn't be mad about it. But I'm a little bit mad about it. Just a little wee bit. The fact that I forgot to tell my markets to stop importing ebony, and they just nom 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 the ebony is delicious. Deliciously frustrating. Also, we're in debt again. Let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about bugs. Let's just kind of cross our fingers and hope for the best. Alright, we need to put more houses up here. Well... Or we could do this the smarter way. We just do that. Problem solved. This is a miracle. Alright, so we're finally starting to get clay worked up here. That's good. And eventually the storage yard will get some clay as well.
I have to go clear across the city with these goods.
But we are going to have to get more... more ebony for our delivery thing. No part they don't like in the remake before bazaars would only pick up items at their houses on the route with command, and then they take it from the start. I don't... I don't mind it, except for imported goods like that. Like, I'm fine, like, priming my markets with resources before having to build houses. On paper, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that on paper. The problem is when I'm importing 300, 500, 1,000 Pharaoh bucks worth of resources, and the bazaars just gobble them up. I don't think it's necessarily a problem. I think the problem isn't that they get it. The problem is that the resources are immediately removed from inventory as soon as the market claims it. As soon as the resource gets on the map and the market sends the trader out, the trader's like, oh, that's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. And, like, I'm sitting here with my baskets of ebony, and it's like, no, I need to take this to the tomb. And they're like, no, that's mine. I think that's the problem. The fact that the traders have the power to just mug you for your resources. Otherwise, it would be okay, I think. Oh, hey, you can see the thingies there. Nice. I'm glad they didn't skimp out on that part of the detail.
My painting and plastering skills are needed at the monument.
Also, that weird voice that I did really hurt my throat. Let's not do that weird voice anymore. That's why I don't do weird voices. It hurts my throat. All right. Show me your stuff, Mr. Painter Pants. I want you to go over here. I want you to paint a beautiful fresco on the wall. Okay. Well, you know what? Okay, kind of. That kind of worked. I have my suspicions, though. I think they just go to the entrance of each room, each section, and they wave their magic wand around, and they magically paint the walls. So, like, the next painter is probably going to stop, like, here, and wave his magic wand around, and wizard up, the portraits on the wall. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back. Alright, I have returned. Anyway, this is working like 1,000 times better, having these artisan skills up here. Alright, what does our culture look like? It's at 15. Obviously, our prosperity went down a bunch because we imported a bunch of stuff. That's okay. Let's start working on improving our culture score, though. We're going to drop a couple more physicians. We're also going to drop a dance school. Here. Here? Here. Here? There? Where? There? There. I know I know I don't have a webcam and therefore you cannot see me just shaking my head disappointedly at the monument. But I am. Alright, so I think it said we also needed more musicians. I could put a bandstand right here. Somehow. No? Oh, it needs to be like this. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that should help our culture a little bit. Or not. Maybe it won't. We'll give it a minute. We'll give it some time to kind of trickle the workers in, because these bandstands and booths and pavilions don't actually count towards culture unless they're active, like this one is. And I'd imagine like 2 or 3 of them have to be active. Yeah. So that is good enough. Has a year passed since our last gift? Yes. Okay. Why? What are we buying? Chariots? I don't need them. Beer should be fine. Papyrus should be fine. It's probably the beer, and it's probably the burial provisions. It'll resolve itself eventually. I mean, the visuals on the tomb still look nice. Don't get me wrong. It still looks pretty good. It's just what the people want is to watch the monument be built, and they want to feel like it's being built and not just abstracted. Even though it's abstracted, realistically speaking it is, it doesn't feel like it because of the animations. I don't know. It is what it is. We will survive. Now, the funny thing about this mission, and probably all of the original expansion missions, is that the monuments don't actually take very long to do. Like, this is already done. We just need the beer for it, and that's not going to take very long. We just have to import it. Yeah, exactly. A tiny bit more of realism. It didn't have to be a lot. It didn't. It just a little bit more. Just a little bit more than artist waving a magic wand to get things done. Also, I think we're probably at the limit of how much oh, there's where we sell. Okay, that's where we buy barley from. Fair enough. Anyway, we're probably at our limit for trade. Not quite, actually. We just have been importing a lot, I suppose. Alright, we pretty much literally just need the beer. Everything else is good. Wait. Everything else is good? Look, I know that the monument's not done. Okay, I see. That symbol there means that we do have to complete the provisions. It makes sense. I understand now. I see what the game's saying. It's fine. I thought in the original game, though, the way they did it in the original game was that the monument rating just didn't go up completely until you completed all of the things. I don't know. Either way, we definitely have enough.
I have to go clear across the city with these.
We probably
goods.
have too much
It'll
linen.
take all day.
Way too much linen, but that's okay. And what we really need, what we desperately need, is beer.
Buy low, sell high. That's my motto.
Do you want to import beer for us, beer merchant? That would be appreciated. Well, I mean, I guess it may be faster just to import barley. No, it's another water route. Whatever. At least we can sell bricks, I guess. Sell when we're over 1,200, so we have any extra for requests. I'm actually kind of satisfied with how this city worked out. It's actually it's a nice little city. You know, we have a nice amount of housing. We only really have, like, the two slum houses. It's not bad. It's not bad. But what is bad is we're still not getting our beer. I didn't set barley to import. Alright, there we go. Alright, impatient. Let's go. I really figured that we would have gotten beer by now. And this would have been the first mission in a long time I didn't have to fast forward at all. But, no. Apparently this takes a hot minute. We probably need even a third dockyard. Let's set that up. How are we going to set that up? Oh, jeez. What was that? Grain? A request for grain? No. We're not doing it, game. A third and a fifth? Yeah. Maybe. Maybe we will. There we go. That got rid of a lot of the backlog. And we have the beer. And you know what? I don't need to do your request because we finished the mission. Yeah.
Well done. The tomb for Thutmose I is complete, an extraordinary accomplishment. Pharaoh is confident that such a beautifully decorated tomb will please the gods and speed his journey into the afterlife.
Probably a little bit longer than it had to be, but it's fine.